So as some of you know, I have lost over 60 pounds eating low carb. Welcome back to Low Carb Vivian. Today, I'll show you how I make my super easy, keto-friendly low carb chips. Now these chips actually has only 2 ingredients, just 2. Tortilla, low carb tortilla. Now you could use whatever low carb tortilla of your choice. I am using Hero. This is one of my favorite brands. I have tried several and I just find that Hero is the best for me. It's very subjective. I love Hero and I stick with Hero. You can find Hero tortillas or their bread at Publix. You could also buy it on Amazon. It's also sold directly on their website. And someone did tell me that they sell it at Whole Foods. I have seen, they also sell this at Publix. I've seen this at Publix. I've actually purchased it at Publix, but someone informed me not too long ago that they do sell it at Whole Foods. I don't know if that's true. I've never seen it at Whole Foods, but it is worth the try. Okay, so super easy recipe. I'll just use my low carb tortilla. I'll cut it up. Actually what I'll do before I cut this up, I will heat up my oil. This is the trick to getting this nice and crispy, is actually making sure that your oil is super hot before you put your tortillas in. So I'll just go ahead and pour in, I'm using avocado oil. I bought this from Costco. I like to use avocado oil because it has a high smoking point. Coconut oil also has a high smoking point. You could use coconut oil if you like. I've actually used olive oil, but I don't like to cook with olive oil because it does not have a high smoking point. I usually use olive oil for my dressings, like my salad dressings. I would stay away from using oils, GMO oils like the canola oil, your cottonseed oil, your canola oil, your soy oil. I would stay away from those. Those are highly inflammatory. Sunflower seed oil as well, and sapphire seed. Well, sunflower seed and sapphire seed oil, those could be used in moderation. But generally all the GMOs, stay away from those. The vegetable oil, I personally will stay away from those, very far away from those. I mean, eating those every once in a while is okay, but I generally stay clear of those. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll grab my tortillas. Let's just do 2 at a time. And I'll just cut them into, chip-like shapes. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. I see a lot of you are tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. Wonderful. Now, if you like tortilla, if you like chips and dip, just type chips. If you like chips and dip, type chips. Okay, so I just cut these and I'll simply just turn this whole board around. I'll make it easy and just cut them again. Two more times and we should be good to go. This is super easy. In fact, I take these with me to Mexican restaurants. When I go to Mexican restaurants with my family, I actually fry these and take these with me. Let's see. Hi, Ray from Australia. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for tuning in. Wonderful. If you like chips, type chips. I'm simply separating my chips. Well, they're not chips yet. My tortillas. I'll cut up 2 more. Then I'll show you what it should look like when you put it into your oil. The oil needs to be super hot. That's the trick. If you let your tortilla, your cut up tortilla sit in the oil, the chip ends up being a little bit soft and not as crispy as one would like. I'll just flip this around. Can we see what I'm doing? Awesome. Perfect. What did everyone have for dinner tonight? Are we intermittent fasting? How did we break our fast? I actually had cauliflower rice for my 1 meal a day. I'm currently eating 1 meal a day, which is also known as OMAD. I had cauliflower rice. I had some ground beef sauce with it, a whole avocado. I had some nuts, macadamia nuts, for my extra fats. And I had my electrolytes. That was pretty much it. Let's see. Oh, I did have a cookie from Chuck Zero. A sugar-free cookie from Chuck Zero. And that's all I ate today. Let's see, Jeremy. Jeremy had a burger. That's awesome. Okay. All right. I think this should do for now. So this is what it looks like. All cut up. Is this zooming in? Let's see. Can we see this? Awesome. Okay. So hopefully our oil is nice and hot. I can test it with one chip. It's not as hot as it should be. So I'll just let it get a little bit hotter. That's the trick. That's the trick to getting this super crispy. Is making sure the oil is very hot. And once you put your cut up tortillas in the oil, do not blink because it cooks very fast. Let's see. I need to get closer. Layla said, I so need to make these. These are so good. These are super good. I mean, I love these. I mean, you could have these with guacamole, with salsa, queso, you name it. They're so good and super easy. Just 2 ingredients, your oil and your low carb tortillas. That's it. In less than 10 minutes, you have a bag of chips. Guilt-free. Okay, I think it should be ready now. Okay, did we see that? Yeah, perfect. The oil is nice and hot, so I'll just make sure we can see. Okay, perfect. Don't blink. You move fast because it cooks, it browns up very quickly. I'll move this to the side and I'll get a plate which I have already lined with paper towel, and I will use these to put my chips that are already fried. They get browned very, very quickly. Okay, awesome. See how quickly they get brown? Okay, ready to get out. Bingo. Can you see this? Perfect. It is that easy. Now I'll put some more. Once you get going, you just move fast, don't stop, don't blink, because you will end up with very brown chips. These are perfect. Look, can you see these? Hi, Effie, thanks for tuning in. If you like chips and dip, type chips and dip. And if you're enjoying this live so far, just give me some hearts. If you're enjoying this live so far, give me some hearts. Now see how quickly it gets brown? They're ready to get out. You can't blink. Once you start frying them up, you just move fast. Awesome. I'll just load this up again, and we'll just keep doing this until we are all done. Awesome, Jeremy's enjoying this live. Awesome, Iffy, Layla, wonderful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Wonderful. Now, like I said earlier, if you were just tuning in, these are low-carb tortillas that I am making with just 2 ingredients. Low-carb chips that I'm making with just 2 ingredients, tortillas and my oil. I am using the Hero brand low-carb keto-friendly tortillas. You could use whatever low-carb tortilla of your choice. I like Hero. I've stuck with them. I buy Hero from Publix or from Amazon or directly from their website. When I see them at Publix, I stock up and I just preserve them in my freezer. They could last a while, for months. And someone did tell me they might sell these at Whole Foods. Let's see, Layla says, what kind of oil? I am using avocado oil. And I bought this from Costco. Avocado oil is what I'm using. I like to use avocado oil because it has a high smoking point. Coconut oil also has a high smoking point. I've used olive oil before, but I don't like cooking with olive oil because it does not have a high smoking point. I generally cook with avocado oil and coconut oil. I stay clear of all the GMO oils, the seed oils, the vegetable oils, the canola oil, your cotton oil, sunflower seed oil, soy oil. Those are highly inflammatory. They're not good for our health. I mean, that's not to say you cannot eat them. I just don't. I try to stay clear. Now, salad dressings are notorious for having seed oils, which is why I generally just make my own. And sometimes, you know, when you can't help it and you're out and about, it's okay to have those just once in a while, so long as it's not your everyday go-to oil. Yeah, so Layla, I am using avocado oil, which I purchased from Costco. And the key, like I said, is making sure your oil is super hot before you put in your tortillas. That makes it really nice, crispy, crunchy. If not, it ends up being a little bit not as crispy if you let the tortillas sit in there when the oil is not as hot. But like I said, do not blink because it gets brown super quick. You can see this. See how quickly it got brown? Ready to get out. And that is it, guys. This is how I make my low-carb, keto-friendly tortillas, which I use for guac. You could also use these chips to make nachos. You could make your own homemade low-carb nachos. Just cook up your meat, ground beef, cut up your tomatoes, your onions, you know, cilantro, whatever you want to top your nachos with. Your queso, you could make your homemade queso or buy it from the store, and you could have your own nachos. You could use these low-carb chips, to eat your salsa, guacamole, or queso. So there you have it. If you have enjoyed this live, just give me some hearts. If you are going to try this, simply because you watched this live, type keto chips. Type keto chips if this is something you'll try based on this live. Just type keto chips. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Low Carb Vivian, and I will see you next time. Bye.